Hello and welcome to another tutorial by TheBlenderanimations. Today I've had a tutorial request from superhyperchicken who wants me to show how to make the anthrax symbol. So you're going to want to go to Google and type in anthrax symbol and it'll be the first one that appears. So it'll just save that to somewhere local. I've saved it to the desktop. Now let's begin. So we're going to open up Blender. We're going to put it as the background image. So we're going to go View, Background Image, use image and load, and go to where you've saved it, which for me is the desktop. It's just there. Okay, so there's your image there. I'm just going to bring this to full screen using Shift Spacebar. Now superhyperchicken has said that his main problem is getting the curves right. What you'll notice is that often curves aren't actually curves, they're just a series of points. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually use the default cube, and we're going to create this curve. So just going to move it over. I'm going to make this big area in red right here first. I'm going to tab into it. Just going to grab these two corners, put them right at the end. I'm going to grab these two other corners and put them down here. I'm going to put a ring cut right in the center and drag that into the middle. I'm going to continue this. Just keep putting a ring cut in and dragging it in. I know it doesn't look like much at the moment. See, it's all very edgy. But as you'll see, as we go further on, we're going to put more ring cuts in. So just in here, I'm going to put about 3 ring cuts in, and I'm just going to drag each one of those to the edge. You'll notice that the more ring cuts you put in, the more detailed your image is going to be. Just going to put about 7 in there. Just going to drag each corner to the edge. Okay, I'm going to put more ring cuts in here. Just drag each one out to the edge. We're just going to follow this basic procedure for the whole of the anthrax symbol. When you actually look at the anthrax symbol as a whole, you'll notice that it's only really made up of 2 parts, which is this part here and this inner part here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make one of these and then duplicate it for the other 2. And we're going to make one of these and duplicate it for the other 2 as well. So just keep putting in ring cuts. Okay, so we've done this first edge here. Now we're going to extrude out of here with E, and then we're just going to drag this down to here. We're going to do the same as we did before and match the 2 vertices up to the 2 points on the end. Just put a single ring cut in and drag that in. Now you'll notice when it's out here, if you put lots of ring cuts in, there's going to be a lot of work dragging it all back in. So the idea of putting the ring cut in the middle and dragging it in is then when you do your next ring cut, you have less distance to drag in. So just going to keep doing that all the way around. Going to put a lot in over here and just drag them all out to the edge again. So that's basically how you make curves in Blender. Just a lot of vertices. The more vertices you have, the more detailed and realistic it's going to look. So the less bumpy your curve is going to be. So I'm just continue dragging all these in until we've made the whole point. Often the easiest way to do this is just put on some music and just click and drag everything. Otherwise it can get a little boring and time consuming. Okay, so there's that part of the curve done. Just about done. I'm going to extrude out of here with E. Just going to drag that over these area here. I'm going to put a ring cut in this way. Drag that edge in. I'm going to put another one up here, another one down there. Those are going to be the two corners. Okay, now it's going to be just the same process again, putting ring cuts in and making it follow the curve. There we are there. We'll put more in along the top. And you want to be sure that you're saving your work as you go along. This Blender document isn't really important. I'm just using it for tutorials, but if you were actually using this for, say, schoolwork or a project or something, you'll want to be saving it regularly. I lost about 2 hours work last night because I hadn't saved. So you need to be sure that you're saving your work as you're going, because Blender, even if you press the cross at the top, it doesn't have an automatic save going. So I'm just going to have a look at that. See, that's pretty good, that's what we got going there. I'm just going to scale it on the Z axis, so S and then Z. Just drag it in a bit thinner. That's good there. Now I'm just going to make the next curve. Just going to, in object mode, just add mesh cube. Scale it down. I'm going to drag these corners over to here. Putting one corner on each, and then doing the same over the other side. Doing the same as we did before with putting a ring cut in the middle and dragging it up. In the middle and then drag it up. Another way you can put a ring cut in the exact middle is if you go Control R and hold down Alt and click and put it exactly in the middle of your object. Or you can just scroll forward and put in heaps, which is a lot easier when you're working with things like this, rather than having to just put in one at a time. And when you put in more than one at once, it will put it in at even distance. So if you put 3, it will put it in even thirds. This one's a lot easier than the others. And the way we're going to get it from a cube shape to a circular shape is just with the easy subsurface. I'm going to drag this bit out a little. There we go. So now we've got our 2 separate objects that we need to make. We'll look at it from here and make sure that they're both the same. Let's scale it on the Z. About there. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this side here. Just going to center the cursor in the middle. So center cursor, and then Shift D to duplicate. And then I'm going to right mouse click and just click R, then it's going to rotate around that center. Just need to adjust it a little bit. Do the same, Shift D, then rotate around to the next slot. There we go. So you can see that we're getting to the symbol now. Just going to do the same with the top. Shift D. Or you can just rotate it 120 degrees. 120, because that's a third. Like when you're working with circles and rotations, 360 would be all the way around to the original position. So because it's divided into 3, you just divide 360 by 3. Yeah, that's pretty basic. Now I'm going to join these 3 sections here, so we can get rid of the background image now because I'm not going to be using that anymore. That's what we got here. Because I'm going to be joining all 3 similar sections with Control J, join selected meshes. Now I'm going to add a subsurf modifier. Now it's automatically got the render levels at 2, so I'm just going to set the levels to 2 here, just so that we can see what it's going to render as. And that's pretty good. I'm going to go set smooth. You'll see that that's actually really good. You can see how the curves have come out just from those ring cuts. I'm going to do the same with the other bits. Control J to join, subsurf, put up to 2. You can see how they're curved now. I'm going to go set smooth. Okay, then from here, I'm just going to join the 2 of them together. J, join selected meshes. So now it's all one. I'm going to make it red. There you go, that's pretty much it. So if you then want to render it, just go to global, put the color to 0. You want to set up your camera. Just trying to put it directly above it. And just making sure that it fits within the whole, like the whole area that the camera shows. There we go, that's pretty good there. I'm just going to bring some lighting in. Pretty good. And just render that. And there's your anthrax symbol. Thank you for watching today's tutorial. If you have any other questions or other tutorial requests, just send me a message and I'll get back to you. Okay.